Hey majors across the internet, Matt here from Total MTG. Welcome to today's video. Hope you're all safe and well. So yesterday we did the commons, the best Ikoria commons, my view anyway, in the best Ikoria top 10 commons. So today I'm going to give you what I think are the top 10 uncommons from Ikoria. Now, there's quite a few good uncommons in this set from what I've found. I found this one a little bit difficult, but, you know, there's definitely going to be a few honourable mentions at the end, so make sure you stay to the end of the video. And like yesterday, I want to know all about, you know, which you think are the best uncommons, what you're going to build around, what's your favourite cards, what do you think is going to make, you know, potentially into other formats. Let me know in the comments below. And, of course, if you haven't seen the commons video from yesterday, make sure you check out that as well. So, the first card we're going to be starting off today with is Ominous Seas, a blue card. Whenever you draw a card, put a foreshadow counter onto Ominous Seas. This is an enchantment that costs 1 and a blue. Remove 8 foreshadow counters from Ominous Seas. Create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token. And it also has Cycling 2. This card seems a great build around card to me. Maybe something that maybe control decks are going to like in standard. You know, it's great in the fact that you don't have to sacrifice it as well, which is really good. So you can actually keep doing this. Late game, if you're not going to be doing this, you can cycle it and draw a card. It really does look, you know, a really very interesting card for me. Maybe you could see a little bit of play in modern. I've heard people talking about, you know, putting it in Hollow 1 decks even. I'm not sure about that. Let me know if you're a Hollow 1 player. Let me know if you think about that. But I think for an uncommon, it's a pretty scary uncommon, especially in a card drawing, maybe Is It Spells Matter deck where you're going to be drawing lots of cards, making lots of counters. You will have to protect it because people will want to remove this, obviously, before, you've got to do a bit of work. You've got to get 8 shadow counters on there, but it is whenever you draw a card. So if you're drawing 2 or 3 cards, you're going to get 3 counters on it. So it's going to be, it's really strong. And I think for an uncommon 2 mana, I think this is going to be exactly what blue players will like, and I definitely think they build around it. So Ominous Seas, for me, is one of the best Ikoria uncommons and the first on our list. So the next card we're going to take a look at is Easy Prey. It's a black instant, 1 and a black. Destroy target creature with coveted mana cost 2 or less. Now, that actually does hit quite a lot. Croxa, Hydroid Crassus, just to mention a couple of absolute beaters. Easy Prey is going to hit them. It also has Cycling 2, so it's got an extra added effect, which I really do like. It's going to be great in... I do think this is going to be played in standard episode control decks and maybe put into sideboards potentially as well. Going to be good in limited as well, but there will be a lot of big bombs. We might be able to get rid of something a bit early. If not, the Cycling 2. Cycling is absolutely great, so this is really cool. What do you think about this deck? We've had cards like Fatal Push. I mean, this is obviously no Fatal Push. Fatal Push was just absolutely epic. But for me, Easy Prey, 2 mana instant, destroying some very big creatures that have definitely been playing in the meta at the moment. You know, there's a lot of those red decks that are going to hate this as well. And the added ability of Cycling 2. I think this is a pretty tasty, definitely tasty Ikoria common. Sticking on the black theme, our next one is Call of the Death Dweller. 2 and a black for a sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature cards with total coveted mana cost 3 or less. From your graveyard to the battlefield, put a Death Touch counter on either of them, then put a Menace counter on either of them as well. Now, I think there's going to be a few decks that will like this. I think this possibly could see a little bit of modern play. Let me know what you think about that. It does seem quite good to me. That might be a bit of a stretch, but... potentially bringing back a Tarmogoyf in modern might be really cool. The Death Touch counters are really good as well. I think this is, it could be a very good way to, in other formats, to resurrect things like Thales Lieutenants and stuff like that, which could be very cool. If you're looking at standard, I mean, Mayhem Devil, that is a deck that recurs stuff. And if they can get back their devils as well, those Caravan decks, oh my god, that's going to be even worse. Putting Menace counters on stuff as well, or perhaps Death Touch. Oh my god, Call of the Death Dweller, I think, is definitely going to see a bit of standard play, and it's going to make that deck even worse, in my opinion. It's just going to be an absolute nightmare. Definitely for me, black just has some great uncommons, and Grim Dancer is just another one for me that just screams absolute value. It's going to be a limited house. 1 double blacks, which means it's going to be great in mono black devotion decks in standard as well. You're getting a 3/3 for 1 double black for 3, two devotion there as well, which is very important if you're going to be slamming old Gary down. Grim Dancer enters the battlefield with your choice of 2 different counters on it, so you can put Menace, Death Touch, or Lifelink on it. So it's just absolute value, and it's a nightmare, and I love nightmares. I think this card is really, really powerful, and especially for an uncommon. You look at great uncommons in the past, maybe like Vampire Nighthawk, that was a 2/3 Lifelink, Death Touch Flyer. Here you're going to get a 3/3. Put it on there for the sake. It's amazing. Yeah, it doesn't have flying, but you can give it Menace and Lifelink, Menace and Death Touch. Oh, it's just absolutely brilliant. Grim Dancer for me is a top star, and I will definitely see playing decks. It's going to be a great addition, certainly, to the mono black deck. Now, I promise you all these cards aren't great, but black is so strong in the uncommon stage for me. Heartless Act. This is going to see play in Modern, I'm surely, because people have already spoke about this with Thing in Ice. It doesn't do the one interaction, but it's definitely going to be doing a lot of work in that deck. Heartless Act, great card. So it has, it's an instant speed card, 2 mana, destroy target creature with no counters on, and you can remove counters from a creature as well, and then perhaps, that's just a way of potentially shrinking something down and killing it as well. Perhaps someone comes in with a Hydroid Crassus for 2 or 3. This is going to be 2 mana removal for that as well. So destroy target creature with no counters on it as well, so it's going to hit a lot of stuff. This is such a great card. Some people are saying the best removal since Fatal Push. It could be. I mean, Fatal Push is definitely a high bar, but I think this will see Pioneer play. Definitely, it's going to see, standard play. Better than Cast Down? Yeah, Cast Down destroys, non-legendary. To me, this is obviously better. I do think this card is going to see a hell of a lot of play. And yeah, again, black is getting some great removal. And Thing in Ice is going to absolutely love this card. So now we go to our next uncommon. It's another black. No, it's not. It's a white card at last. So we're going to play Valiant Rescue as one of my top Ikoria Uncommons. This is a 2 mana 3/1. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 human soldier creature token. This, I think, has cycling 2 as well, so it's going to be good late on if you don't want to get this down. There's cards in Standard that have been very good recently. I think, cards like this where they produce tokens and stuff like that. Hero Precinct 1 is a very good card. I don't think this is obviously going to be as good as that. But in the right deck, in the cycling deck, I think this is going to be, fairly decent. Hero Precinct 1 has, obviously, we get to cast multicolour spells, but it's only just a cast spell, which is really good. Here, you're going to do, you've got a cycle. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn. So potentially you could do this, other times. But I still think it's a very, very good uncommon. If you can build a cycling deck in your limited pool, this could really do some work for you. Maybe if there's enough cycle cards to get into Pioneer, this could, this card could really be a good build around card as well. I think, it's a fair card, 3/1 stats for 2. The 1 toughness is very easy, but in the right deck, you're definitely going to have a bit of fun with Valiant Rescuer. Now we're going to red for the first uncommon here. So we got Weaponize the Monsters. I like this card. 1 mana enchantment, very good. Pay 2, sacrifice a creature. Weaponize the Monsters, deal 2 damage to any target. So for those of you older players there might remember Blood Rights, which was 1 and a red, sacrifice a creature, and it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. This will do it to anything, and it's a 1 mana enchantment. Very, very good card. These cards are normally not really good enough outside limited, but I think it's a fair enough thing to build around in a, maybe a Rakdos aggro deck, Rakdos sacrifice deck, sorry. Maybe this could be put in some kind of CAVALCADE deck as well. You can use it to ping damage, then pay 2 to sack stuff sometimes where you're not going to get through with your creatures. 2 more damage. I think this is definitely a good build around card, and it's definitely worthy of a slot in the best uncommons because it's a card that can definitely do some work. Now what do we go for? We go for a card that's going to be an absolute limited all-star. Limited, you want big stompy creatures. Titanic Rex is definitely one of them for 7 double green for 9 mana. You're getting an 11/11 trample dinosaur beast. Whenever you cycle the Rex, put a trample counter on a target creature you control. So you can cycle this for 1 and a green. So, specific for this, but it is massive. Could imagine putting this in in an infect deck or something like that. I don't think it could, but it would be absolutely hilarious. There's a lot of talk about infect at the moment. We've had Gouter in the past that was a big 12/12, but this is very good to me. This is a 9 mana 11/11. Very interesting card. Probably going to see play in commander decks as well. People are saying Death Shadow could be going. Maybe. I like it. It's an 11/11 with trample. It's exactly what limited bombs are all about, and the Rex definitely gets a thumbs up from me. So down to the last two cards now before we get to those honourable mentions. And as if Flash didn't needed a bit of help, in steps Cunning Nightbonder. Now, all the Nightbonders are pretty cool, but this one for me is, well, it's not what I wanted to see. Flash are going to love it as far as I'm concerned. So this itself obviously has Flash as a 2/2. It gets hybrid mana, so it's blue, 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 black, black, black. So this has spells with Flash you cast, cost 1 less to cast, and can't be countered. Wow, this just sounds fun, doesn't it? It's got to be on the list because it's super powerful. Flash is a very good deck, and it's given it, potentially a very, very good, powerful tool. A lot of Flash will be rotating soon, so that's one good thing. That is one good thing, but Nightbonder is definitely going to go straight into that deck, making stuff uncounterable. It's going to make it even more of a head banging deck to play against. But I think this is definitely one of the strongest uncommons just because of how good that deck actually is. And it's definitely going to be in the top Ikoria Uncommons just for simply that reason alone. So the last card we're going to look at is going to be Sprite Dragon. Sprite Dragon, very, very interesting card. This is a blue and a red 1/1 creature fairy dragon. Great art on this as well. It has flying and haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a 1/1 counter on Sprite Dragon, which is very interesting being the counter on. Storm Chaser Mage was a good card, flying haste. It was a 1/3, same obviously casting cost, but it had prowess. So obviously it didn't, it got +1/+1 to end a turn, but the counters didn't stay. So these counters are going to be very rare. This is an uncommon, so it's going to be very strong. Is it spells, matters, decks, or anything like that? I'm pretty sure limited it's going to be absolutely amazing. I see it as more of an upgrade to Storm Chaser Mage. Maybe some of you don't, but I think this is, it certainly is going to be fitting into a lot of decks. Strong, so strong. Haste, come down, turn 2, potentially start attacking in. And then if you get, a bit of protection for it, even though, people try to kill it in there, outside of your turn. When you're countering that spell, it's not going to be like Storm Chaser Mage where you get that plus and then lose it. You're going to get the counter ready for your next turn. This is strong. Not even legendary. Why would it be legendary? I mean, if it was legendary, it'd be a lot better, better to play against, but it's not. So you're going to have multiples of these on the field, multiple spells triggering off, getting those counters on, and it's certainly one of my favourite uncommons from Ikoria. So now we're going to get to some honourable mentions here, starting off with a Parcel Beast. Very interesting card. Could have easily made it into the list. I like the mutate on this. It's very cheap. 2/4, nice stats for 4 mana as well. The ability though is great. Play 1 tap, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, you get to put it in your hand. Risen Reef, very similar card, but this is just so much better to me. This is absolutely amazing, and the mutate cost is a lot less than the casting cost, which on some of the mutate cards we've seen have been a little bit more and a little bit less. But this one to me is really, really good. Some people will prefer Risen Reef. Might be great. Risen Reef is great in the elemental deck, but this isn't obviously an elemental as well. But I think this is just because of the ability of just look at the top card of it, and if it's a land, I just think it's amazing. I think this card will definitely see some word. Mutate for so little cost, the blue and the green. It's definitely getting the upvote from me. Next card to keep in mind for when you're looking at your Ikoria Uncommons is Footfall Crater. Nice card, 1 mana enchantment, enchant land. Target creature gains trample and haste by tapping it and has cycling 1. So giving something, tapping it to give something trample and haste. That is amazing. Of course, it's going to be on a land, so you just be able to tap this. If they don't block a big creature, they might have to because, you can give something trample. You can put in a big creature, tap it and give it haste and trample. It's just, I think this is really good. Definitely one of the most exciting uncommons in there. And I think you're going to have people that are definitely be putting this in decks with big stompy stuff, maybe going in, red-green decks or something like that. You just might want to smack a creature onto the battlefield, but this could definitely be a game winner for you. Next sweet card that I think we'll see play is Flame Spill. Deals 4 damage to target creature, XX damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Very nice this. We're getting cards that are doing stuff You know, like we saw the Trample Uncommon that goes over the top and then still does damage as well. Flame Spill is a nice card for the red deck's going to like 4 damage to target creature. 4 damage is nice for 3 mana. And then obviously it can do excess damage. So if you're doing 1 damage to, you know, a 3/1 toughness creature, doing that, then you get 3 damage over the top as well for 3 mana. I think this is, you know, pretty cool. This is obviously going to go straight into Torband decks and stuff like that, red sources. I think Flamespill is definitely going to see some play without a doubt. And, you know, it could have easily been in my top 10 list. But honourable mention just means it's just outside for me, but still very good. So the last card on my honourable list is Charge of the Forever Beast. Nice card, 2 and a green sorcery. As additional cost to cast this card, reveal a creature card from your hand. Charge of the Forever deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the revealed card's powered. So, you know, this is a very good card for green. We have stuff like Rabid Bite as well. This to me is, you know, it costs 1 mana more, but I really do think this is going to see play a bit. A lot of people saying this is a bit of a bend on green, but, you know, saying it's a bit broken for green. But, you know, I still think it's pretty much green when you look at the fight cuffs and stuff like that. Dealing damage, Rabid Bites and things like that. But let me know what you think about this card. It's very interesting. It gets a lot of chatter about it, thinking, you know, it's not really what green should be doing. So I'd be very interested to know what you think of Charge of the Forever Beast. So that's my top 10 Ikoria Uncommon list. Let me know what you think. Obviously, put stuff in the comments. Let me know what you think of these cards, any I missed, or you think they're just really good. I'd love to know your views on that as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Obviously, liking the video is a great way to do it. Sharing it with your friends, doing all that jazz really helps out TaylorMTG and me and the channel, of course. Really do appreciate that. Watch out for the next one I'll be doing, which will be going over the rares mythics. What, you know, there's obviously going to be quite a few of them, and some are going to be favourite to some. So I'm just going to put what I think are the best ones in the set so far. Anyway, you lot take care, and I will see you on the next video.